this reading is for Aries. But first, one of the secrets about Aries that they don't usually know. Aries often acts brave even when they are scared. So they act first, even if they are scared. They are afraid, but they do it anyway. And this is one of the, like you are the initiators, okay? You are the first move. This is the pure fire energy. Act first, think later. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes this is like most people miss nowadays. They think, they analyze, they postpone, they still think, they keep thinking. 2 months later, they still thinking about this. Should I do it? While Aries already have done it 10 times. So I feel strongly connected to Aries energy because I'm Mars native. And in this reading is for every single Aries that wants to discover what is blocking your love. I'm gonna start with shadow, okay? I'm going to start with shadow. If you want to understand why I use two tarot decks and what kind of system I'm using, why I have designed them, you can go to this video first, get to know. Or if you are too impatient, and I know Aries, they just want it now, then I'm going to tell you blockages. Okay. Right. So let's start with things that tells me. Let's start with the beginning, okay? I have the 10 of coins. In this case, this is inherited pattern. Something that you inherited from your parents, from your grandparents, from your ancestors, okay, when it comes to relationships. And there is also the Hierophant, okay? So I would say for all single Aries, you've seen too many marriages that didn't work out, okay? There is also a strong influence of a woman. I'm getting this is a mother energy, okay? This is a mother energy. So when we take this pattern and this pattern, okay, I read patterns, not predictions. Then we have someone who didn't have a very good relationship with mother, but also there is a father figure here, the King of Coins. But so this is like we always inherit patterns from our parents, okay, from both sides. Not only genetically, also on subconscious level. So your mother was very like controlling, okay, but it was like controlling in a way, emotional way, okay? So the High Priestess is the moon energy, is emotions. This is like manipulation through emotions, okay? While the King of Coins, as you can see it, is cold as fuck. So this is like the absent father, the cold father. So this is a father who was like not really present in your life. If he was very dismissive, he was very cold, very self-centered, maybe centered like focus on materialistic things, okay, because this is coins. Then we have your tendency, and this is very Aries, okay, this is very Aries, and the Knight of Wands, which is the energy of coming fast and getting out even faster. So the first thing you need to understand, your fire is your advantage, but you need to know how to use it. Then two cards that actually represents why are you still single. The Two of Cups, so this is you've been, and I'm getting both. You were the person who left, but you were also the person who've been abandoned. So this is the fearful avoidant attachment style, where you get the both ones and you just swing between one and the other one. When you meet someone who is a dismissive avoidant, then you try to chase them. When someone is anxiously attached, then you run away from them, okay? Or you run away from people who actually trigger feelings, okay? And the Two of Wands, this is your inability to make decisions, okay? Because when you swing between one and the other one, then you have a problem to make a decision, to make a move sometimes. When you do, it's often like on an impulse, but with impulses, it's good to follow them, but you need to learn how to sustain them, okay? So and that's why I have a second tarot deck. So we have your shadow work, okay? This is tarot shadow work. We've done it. We know what is suppressed, what is hidden, and what is the like underlying root issue, I would say. If you want to have your private, because this is collective reading, then you can book me. The link is in the description. But for this collective, and this reading is valid whenever you're watching this. So I'm going to check pattern. That's a lot of fire. That's a lot of fire. Hold on, I need one more. Okay. Okay. So let me go through this. Because for every single shadow card is a separate pattern. And every light card is also a separate energy, a pattern, a good pattern. And I connect them, okay? I connect them in a way so I could give you the information what with what, okay? So let's start with the High Priestess. And that's mother energy, okay? You're going to use the, again, moon, but in a good way. Moon energy, the moon itself. So this is following your intuition. This is also working on your subconscious mind, because the moon is linked to the subconscious mind, okay? So, and also what you can see, we have two wolves here, so you don't have to do it on your own. And this is also like, nowadays, every person has a problem with relationships that was inherited, okay? We are the first generation that actually started to pay attention, because previous generations, they were so focused on surviving, okay? So quite often we blame our parents, but they didn't have tools we have. And right here, I can see two wolves, okay? Two wolves. So this is, you need to open up to your intuition, but also to open up to someone's intuition too, because one wolf is female and the other one is male, okay? And this is love reading for Aries. Then for the King of Coins, I have the Ace of Swords, okay? So this is air energy, clarity, cutting through the fog, cutting through the belief, cutting, sometimes disconnecting yourself. We use a sword to cut. We use a sword for clarity, okay? That was someone in your life, okay? But it's not you. This pattern doesn't have to be yours, okay? Doesn't have to be yours. Okay, it caused you like a really hard love life, right? But it doesn't have to be yours. It can end with you. So this is like cutting off, setting also a boundary, okay? That was my father. He acted this way. I don't have to act this way. Then we have for the Knight of Wands, so this is you coming fast and getting out fast. We have the Two of Wands, so fire with fire, okay? Elemental balance. But direction, this is what I'm saying. Aries, your fire is your advantage. You have no idea how many people feel envy for your ability to move forward, for your ability to overcome obstacles, for your ability to actually forgive quickly, because this is another Aries thing. So, and like I started at the very beginning, you are afraid, but you go anyway. Okay, so this is like, most people, they think like, oh, this is such a brave person. No, you're still afraid inside, but you do it anyway. So make sure you have the right direction. Okay, make sure your fire, your ability to go fast and get what you want is not shadow, is your advantage. Okay, so set your direction and direct your fire there. For Hierophant, and this is like you've seen so many bad marriages, you've seen how things went bad, okay, and you might like personally think like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna get married anyway ever, this is pointless, okay. That's the divine feminine energy, okay. Either it doesn't matter if you're a man or if you're a woman, we all have feminine energies inside and masculine, okay. So for you, it's actually to soften this hard belief, okay. Feminine energy is about trusting the universe, trusting the flow, going with that flow without sometimes knowing where it leads, because this is not a structure, this is not a plan, okay. So this belief might block you from meeting a person who is actually long-term oriented, because you are like, nah, nothing serious, nothing long-term, nothing like, I'm not going to be devoted. And soften. For you is to soften. For the 10 of coins, okay, so this is like you have inherited blockages, okay. The 5 of coins. So 5 of coins, again, fire energy. It represents breakthrough. It represents breaking patterns. So if your patterns are like, I'm not believing in marriage and I will never get married and I will never have a successful relationship, okay? You need to break it. You need to break it by living differently, by having different, by making different choices, okay? For the 2 of Wands, which is about choices, okay, we have the Ace of Wands. So this is, again, your fire. I got so many, like, your fire is your advantage. Your fire is, like, use your fire in a good way. Because right now you see only destruction in front. You only see destruction. And you also see destruction in the past, like, well, we've all made mistakes, okay? So give yourself a permission to burn with purpose. Direct your fire, okay? Direct your fire. And the last card, and that's again fire, the Page of Wands, for that blockage of the 2 of Cups, okay? So either running away or chasing unavailable people, okay? For you is to follow a passion, to focus on passion. But this is sustainable fire. I've got so many fire cards. So this is sustainable fire, okay? Go with that fire. Direct this fire. I hope it helps, and fingers crossed for you to direct that fire, because it's needed. Trust me, so many people would want to be with someone who is so passionate, as long as you will not just run away for the first sight of your love, okay? So sometimes the bravest thing we can do is to stay when we are afraid.